Gov 999 on the PC. Leave me just a minute. Um, just a minute so that I can post this to Discord to make sure that everyone is aware that I'm back online. Alright. Okay, there we go. Game's running, getting everything. Yep, I'm back. Okay, what was that? Yeah, yeah, thanks. Okay, let's run. Run like a bullet down a rifled barrel. Like a tornado cutting through a sea of clouds. I feel like we're running along the back of a giant coiled dragon, finally. Jesus, I can barely breathe. No, Junpei, no time to rest. Pull yourself together, you're almost there. Sure, you look like a big heavy door, but you're the only thing standing between me and my freedom. But even more important than that, you're the only thing standing between me and Akane. You're gonna open, and you're gonna open now. Ah, this is Akane vision. Right. So we're back to Akane now, just to make sure that everything is understood well. I felt a hand on my shoulder. So from now on, there is just text. Yeah, normally, yeah, it's just like text and voice clips and artwork to tell you the end of the story. It was Aoi's. He gave it a small, reassuring squeeze. I was so happy I felt like I could melt. My heart was at peace. And not only because my brother and I were back together again. Thanks to the huge detective, all 9 of us who had been kidnapped were finally able to escape from the gigantic. On the distant horizon, we could see the faint outline of the ship as it sank. It gave a thunderous roar as it finally slipped beneath the waves. Its last cry echoed out across the ocean, and then it was gone. Aoi whispered. It was over. It was finally over. Or was it? Was it really? No, that was wrong. That wasn't it at all. I was sure of it. This wasn't the end. It was only the beginning. This was only a prologue to what would happen in 9 years. Back to Junpeido. Yes, finally, air. Ah! Damn, that sun is bright. I can barely see anything. I gotta admit, this doesn't look quite like... Wait. You've got to be shitting me! Sure enough, that's a desert out there with mountains all around it. Hello there, son. Boy, am I ever glad to see you. I don't think I have ever been so happy to see a sunrise. Huh? Did I just hear something fall? Right, our bracelets. I guess I've never really got a good look at the underside of one of these. Let's see what's inside you. Just a little electronic chip like an ATM card. That's it. There's nothing else. Nothing that even looks like a detonator. There was never a detonator to begin with. Figures. Heh. Guess I must be pretty crazy about the girl if I think I'm hearing her voice in the wind. There's something post-credit, I think. No, there's more to it normally. There's some post-credit stuff normally. Sorry, what was that? Yeah, there's some... No, I think there's something more beyond it. Piece of shit game, tell us. Show us. Comment goes here. Akane is all alive and well. I don't know about that. Hi, Tinderwave. Witty reply to streamer. Okay, hold on. Normally, I think it's not supposed to be over yet. Ah, there we go. Hold on. No, don't go back to the title screen. Where are we on the flowchart? Yeah, see, there's still a little bit left. We're not done yet. Seeing her alive and well, I don't think you see that in the ending. Well, you know that she escaped, so she's alive, and she had to be alive to be able to organize the Nonari game, so... It was just before the end of elementary school. Jumpy and I were sitting next to each other. Ah, it's from the point of view of Akane, okay. Jumpy and I were sitting next to each other on a small hill looking down at the town as the sun slowly set. He was half serious and half joking. I thought about it for a minute first. Junpei grinned and... Ow, 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 ow. This is from the point of view of Junpei this time. Look at the Nevada desert go past. For an SUV, this thing is a pretty smooth ride. Sure was nice of someone to leave it for us outside the building, keys in the ignition and gas in the tank. Almost like it was a present, you know? Anyway, we jumped in, and now here we are, screaming across the desert. Lotus is over there in the passenger seat. Snake and Seven and I are all squeezed into the back seat here. I still can't believe we let her drive. I would have dropped the game here if I hadn't. Yeah, see? That's why you don't see them.
車が止められてたところのすぐ脇に若いタイヤ痕があったからな。間違いないだろ。
急がないと二人に追いつけなくなっちゃうわ。
了解。
Oh shit! God damn it, she doesn't have to drive so fast. Man, I didn't even think a car like this could go this fast. We're sure throwing up a lot of dust. From the point of view of Akane again, it was a couple hours after we'd run into the junior high students. They'd been hiding in the bushes on the back of one of the hills, drenching a kid in gasoline. The moment we saw what they were doing, Jumpy ran up to them, furious. Then he jumped on them. He quickly scooped up the kitten and tossed it to me. I caught it and ran for the police station as fast as I could. The policeman and I headed back to the hill. All we found was Jumpy sprawled on the ground with a face covered in big swelling lumps. I asked him. He stuck his tongue out through the hole in his mouth where a tooth had fallen out.
逃げられたよ。
じゃあどうして？
逃げたくなかったんだ。全員ぶっ飛ばしてやらないと気が済まなかった。
子猫のことが許せなかったから？
それもあるけど、1学期の終業式の件、あいつらの仕業だったみたいなんだ。
Those that killed the bunnies.
それってもしかして
Usagi?
ああ、例のウサギたちのことだよ。
He plucked some grass from the ground and tossed it into the
小
wind.
学校の名前聞かれたから答えたんだ。そしたら、あのウサギたちみたいにしてやるよって。俺、許せなくてさ。
What kind of psychopath they have in Japan, really? At such a young age. Couldn't forgive him for that, so I... back to Junpei. Of course, they probably don't know any more than I do.
本郷源太郎がノナリープロジェクトを企てた動機についてだ。誰か知ってる者は？
This is so cliche, it makes me go from 100% love to hate regarding this game. The other one, the other scene. Yeah, he is. Still tied up, I'm assuming, with his mouth taped shut. His eyes just look empty, no emotion. He looks like he's just given up. I wonder if he even cares what happens to him anymore. Yeah, go ahead and try to pretend you weren't, you old bastard. Let's get that tape off your mouth. You could at least look at me when you talk, man. What? That's all it was? He was looking for a cure to his own prosopagnosia?
その人物がどんな風に人間の顔を認識しているのか知ることができる。ただ簡単に言えばそうだ。もっと哲学的な答えをお望みなら聞かせてやってもいいがね。そもそも人間の意識とは何なのかとか。
I think that's enough out of you, pal. Time for the tape to go back on. So what's your second question? Well, somebody's a little nosy.
次の質問はお前らには関係のないことなんだ。セブン、お前に聞きたい。アリスの件についてだ。あれって結局何だったんだ？
Yeah, it's true. She was mentioned somewhere in there, but...
9年前俺はギガントを脱出してからも本郷の悪事について独自に捜査を進めていた。で、いろいろと調べていく間に自然とギガントの歴史についても詳しくなっていき、その中でゴルダイン教のことやアリスのことについて知ったんだ。
答えになってない。俺が常温でも溶けない体を持った少女なんてものが実在するのかどうかだ。
Sounds like Hongo has something to say. Alright, fine, I'll let you talk, but you gotta behave.
なんだ。
アリスなんてものは存在しない。今から9年前、私はボトムデッキの書庫の奥でアリスの棺を見つけた。しかし中に収められていたのはただの植物の根だけだったんだ。調べてみると、それはナスカの植物マンドラゴラの足であることが分かった。さらに抽出した成分からはアルカロイドの一種が。
Is that how he came up with the Superreal Beta, the flagship product of his pharmaceutical company?
それを
Yeah.
私は麻酔薬マンドレインの開発に成功したのだ。その後、我が社の業績は目覚ましく発展し。
Shit, this is gonna go on forever. Tape's going back on, Hongo. The rest of my questions can wait a bit. For now, I think I'll just enjoy the ride. Back to Akane? Yeah, right, I figured.
これやるよ。
何ですか？
そういう人形の純平くんだ。
Jumpy pulled something out of his pocket and shoved out his arm toward me. In his hand was a doll made of yarn, small enough to fit in his palm.
そういう人形って。
ああ、店員のお姉さんが言ってたんだ。これはフォーユー人形ですってさ。
Ace is in the trunk of the car. They said so. Because the Sentai and Akane just left him tied up in the trunk of the car.
もしかしてブードゥー人形と間違えてます？
Voodoo doll. He was tied up with tape over his mouth in the trunk of the car that they left behind for them to, well, to leave the facility and cross the desert with. If that makes any sense.
見た目からするとブードゥー人形で間違いないと思いますよ。ところでブードゥー人形が何に使われるかは知ってますよね。
じゃあこいつを純平くんって呼ぶのはやめた方がいいかもしれないな。
それよりもどうしたんですか？いきなり。
その
Well, I don't think they made it very clear either.
あんまり会えなくなっちまうだろ。
Different
それで
schools.
そのなんていうか。
わかりました。それじゃあこの人形ジューンって呼ぶのはどうですか？
わかった。
Yeah, the cliches.
だからこれやる。
その言い方なんだかどこかの部族の棟梁みたい。
そう。俺棟梁。これ。
Distal traditional charm of tribe.
だからこれ俺の代わりだと。
Annoying slut acting like a bitch and doesn't let the big guy stay in the front seat, creating a small and funny inconvenience for the protagonists after the big finale cliche.
俊平くん。
何か困った時これ握りしめて祈れ。
Some of those cliches carry over in the sequel as well, unfortunately.
駆けつける。だから
There's another character that's kinda like her in the sequel. Not her though. She doesn't appear in the sequel, Lotus. I reached my hand out and picked up the doll gently.
ありがとう。ありがとう。俊平くん。
Before I knew it, I was crying. Tears streamed down my face and fell onto June's tiny yarn body.
私俊平くんのこと忘れないから。絶対に忘れないから。
Jumpy looked straight into my eyes and said just 5 words.
俺もだ。
Well, that's more like 3 words in Japanese, but whatever. The sky was a beautiful crimson red as it melted down toward the horizon. The last golden rays of sunlight stretched out across the city and painted themselves across the hills. We sat bathed in the warm light of evening. just the two of us leaning gently against one another, shoulder to shoulder. The sun set and we still didn't leave. We watched in silence as the darkness deepened, and one by one the lights of the town began to flicker on. If they're still in elementary school, their parents just let them stay out until past sunset. That happens in Japan. There's still one thing I don't get. To be honest, it's the biggest mystery as far as I'm concerned, and also the only one that's really important. It has to do with June and Akane. 9 years ago, she died in the incinerator of the Gigantic, but she's still alive now as June. But how? Was it because I tapped into the morphic field set and saved her 9 years ago? Alright, let's say that makes some kind of insane sense. If I did that then, how do I make sense of what Seven remembers? Snake makes sense. He's blind. He couldn't have seen her body anyway, but Seven? He said he was sure he saw it. Does that mean there's some kind of historical discrepancy? Or wait, maybe that's not it at all. There is one other logical explanation. Was what you told me the truth, Seven? You look satisfied. No. No way. He couldn't.
誰か道の端に立ってるみたい。
え？
Now who could that be? I wonder. The burning gaze of the Nevada sun pounded down on her head. The desert around her rippled with heat. Standing there on that shimmering plain was a woman, her arm out and her thumb up. It would not be long before Junpei realized who she was. Is it Alice or is it not Alice? It's a character that appears in the sequel, by the way. It's the slut from the sequel, right? If you like. The kid? What the kid? Her child? What child? The kid? Her child? Whose child? Would you like to save? Yeah, for the sake of it. Just to show that I've got all the endings. No, no connection, no. There is no connection, no. Well, that's it. That's all the endings to 9 hours, 9 persons, 9 doors. I'm done. No, it's another character that appears in the sequel. And, well, they don't reveal straight away in the sequel that she's not really a mummy that was brought back to life, but she has nothing to do with a mummy. But the reason for her being in the desert there, well, whatever. Those 8th graders are complete absolute scums from every perspective, unrealistic. Maybe even impossible scumminess for no reason, cliche. Well, anyway, you had any others before I leave? Any other cliches you wanted to mention? So yeah, the sequel I'm not playing straight away because well, it's October very shortly. It's gonna be October, and I have a whole plan of streaming horror games only for the month of October. Because I planned on doing that last year, and I ended up not doing it. But this year, I don't want to miss out on this. The interaction between Junpei and Akane on that hill, so many cliches, not enough time to write them all before you end the stream. Yeah, well, anyway. Well, there are a good amount of cliches, and even the sequel does have them. Maybe not quite to the same extent, but yeah, it has its own cliches anyway. Yeah, well, anyway. Yeah, so what I was saying, yeah, I do plan on streaming the sequel, but probably not in October, unless I run out of horror games to stream. Then I would have, well, nothing else to stream besides that one. You're welcome. Yeah, so I intend on streaming probably Fatal Frame 4 or Project Zero 4. tomorrow. I think I want to start Spooktober with that one. I also intend to stream Resident Evil Code Veronica X at some point because it's the only one of those that I do own which I haven't streamed yet. Have I streamed Luigi's Mansion? Yeah, I have already. But yeah, I will definitely be streaming both games that came after this one. So the sequel and then the third game as well. The third one isn't quite as good from my own perspective. But well, I do intend on streaming it anyway to bring the whole thing full circle and streaming the whole story. Oh, I might pick the new game from that guy, AI The Somnium Files, on the Switch at some point. If I can find it, maybe for like not too expensive or something like that, I might pick that one up. I don't know if it got a physical release. If I can find the physical release of that game, well, that would be nice. No, that's okay. Yeah, but it's just a shame that you could not catch all of the streams on that series, because it would make more sense if you didn't miss some parts at some points. Because you really do have to. I mean, if you're the one playing the games, then yeah, a lot of things make a lot more sense. But if you only pick like bits and pieces of the story, then yeah, obviously there are things that would not make sense. It's all right. No, I'm not complaining. I love interaction, so I'm not complaining about that at all. Yeah, but I'm done. So I will be leaving you guys to it then, and I will be back tomorrow evening with another game then. You will research all you missed 100%. Well, you can always watch the VOD of the stream, like the recording, but do as you whatever you feel is best. Anyway, yeah, okay. See you next time, guys. I'm done for today. See ya. Take care until then.